the soil, we're focused on a lot of things like Rhizoctonia, Pythium, nematodes, especially the southern root knot nematode. You know, that's very bad for us. Building organic matter up, that's important to us because that's what the plant uses to feed off. A critical point of looking after the soil is to make sure it's all clean and of pathogens. We're very vigilant on the way we treat our soils and what we do every year, and one of those things is fumigation. So what happens is when we get a DNA test, the DNA test will come down with all different bits of what the soil's made up of, and it gives you accounts of good nematodes, bad nematodes, how many, so for instance you might have a count of 1,000 nematodes per gram of soil. So we know that if we use say 50 grams of a fumigant per square metre, we know we're going to get that 1,000 down to about zeros. How we started with TriCal was about 10 or 12 years ago. We were approached by Sadi through a group called Hortex, and we were asked to help. Would we be interested in doing trials about soil fumigant, the reactions of soil fumigant with the soil and with the plant, to see the relationship and what would happen. You know, would it kill the pathogens? Can we get good results? Because the fumigants we were using at the time, we knew they were doing their job, but they weren't as they were more potent and they were detrimental to the soil. So we wanted to find out something that was really good for the soil. We did trials over a few years. So we were doing experiments. We were applying different rates on different glass houses of the fumigant. We were doing DNA testing with the fumigant. So we do a before DNA test. We do a periodic, say at 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months to find out what the reaction how long the fumigant would last for, whether we were applying enough, whether we weren't applying enough, whether we were doing too much, so we could reach what our economic threshold was. So we did a lot of that, and we did that over 3 years. And we got to the results of where we are today, so we know exactly how much fumigant we need to put on, so we know the cause and the effect, and we know what the solution is. So that's been really good, and we haven't changed from that. We've done an experiment where we missed a year and we didn't fumigate, and we found the results are definitely not the same. So it was detrimental to us that year. So ever since then, we've been doing our DNA testing and we apply fumigant every year, and we're getting results. We're getting consistent fruit, consistent growth, a much healthier plant. You know, it pays back tenfold. It's like anything, if you start with a good base or a good foundation, you're going to get better results, and that's what we've found. We start with a good foundation, so we know we've got clean soils, we've got minimal disease, we've got minimal pest pressure. Everything is just like starting with a clean slate. So it's up to you how you manage from starting from a clean slate. But when you've got a good base, your benefits are so much. We can almost predict what we think we're going to get for the season, bar the climatical changes, you know, the extremes that we might get, but otherwise we actually can predict what we know what we're doing, because our yields are so consistent, our product is so consistent, it's clean, it's just so much better, so we won't change. Probably initially we got a 10% improvement, and now we believe we're up to probably a 30 to 40% improvement on what we've done, only because we're being consistent, and it does get better every year. We found when we did that one patch where we did stop, our production went down, and we did it another year. It didn't go back to where it was before. It took another year to actually climb back up again, and we've found that, you know, it stays fairly consistent. It doesn't keep improving every year. I think where we are now, we're pretty good. We might get the 1 or 2% increase now a little bit, but not as much as we did initially. But because we're doing it all the time, we're seeing consistency, and that's important to us, consistency. So when we need to do budgets or forecasts, or if we want to expand, which we've been doing, we can actually say, well, guess what? We know we're going to get roughly this result, so it's a good help to us. Our relationship with TriCal is very important. We value that relationship with TriCal because we have found that with TriCal, they're an open book, they're not closed. So if we think that we can do something better to improve, or we might have a suggestion as a grower, they're willing to take that information on board, and vice versa. If they see something might be better, they're willing to try it, so they want to try something too. They're not fixated on what one thing fixes or where it doesn't. We know it doesn't. So as the parameters keep changing, they keep changing, we keep changing, and we get good feedback from TriCal all the time. And the same with us. TriCal want to work with us. They want to be part of our business. They want us to be able to come into our business and say, look, we're part of your business. We want to help your business, and vice versa. We do that. So it's a two-way exchange. It's not all one-way traffic. So it's fantastic.